And all you have to see is, well, what happened at the G20 meetings when they called martial law in Pittsburgh. I mean, could you imagine closing down an entire city, 1.5 million people for 20 world leaders?
And saying you can't come out on the street and then attacking peaceful people. They're looking for trouble. They're looking to set the precedent. Police dogs biting old women, young girls getting billy clubbed off bikes. They want violence.
Exactly. And you know, as a close combat martial artist, a leader walks without fear. What kind of leaders do these people call themselves when they can't even step out into a crowd and have to close down the city? What a disgrace. You know, if anybody believes in anything, the founding fathers are turning in their graves at these little cowards that they call leaders, and people are going to follow these leaders.
I talked to Jesse Ventura last week. It's a video we've got up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, and he made the point that last year at the Republican National Convention, it was an armed camp, locked down much of the city. They were acting like the public were all terrorists. Then at Ron Paul's event, couple cops, super light security, everybody had a great time. I mean, Saddam Hussein would walk around in a group of 10,000 people with AK-47s, but in America, the foreign bankers come into town, they lock the whole city down because they're the criminals. The good old folks at New Silver Solution, and the website is supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. This is something that kills bacteria, viruses, you name it, well documented. They've got it down to a super small nano-sized particle. Supernaturalsilver.com. Check them out at Infowars.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. We're going back to Gerald Celente in just one moment. I want to commend all the listeners for hitting the ground running with Follow the Republic at PrisonPlanet.tv. You support the explosion in the alternative media. There's no doubt that we're at the tip of the spear with Gerald Celente and many others in shattering the left-right paradigm, because the establishment loves to divide and conquer us and play parties off against each other when the Republicans and Democrats are equally part of the same Wall Street gang robbing us. And we'll talk to Gerald Celente about that. This film that has Jesse Ventura, Gerald Celente, Webster Tarpley, Alan Watt, John Perkins, Professor Black, Dr. Bob Bowman, myself, Professor Boyle, the list goes on and on and on. And we went to the tent cities. In Northern California, we traveled so much to put this together. It breaks down who the bankers are, what their battle plan is from their own documents and statements, what they're planning to do in the future, how they've committed crimes, and how we either bring them to justice because they're criminals, or we allow them to take their Ponzi scheme to the next level, worldwide tyranny, and then to the next scam, and the carbon tax, the control, the police state, the citizen spies. It is Fall of the Republic. I suggest you get it on DVD. The super high quality, highest quality, 2 hours and 24 minutes, 30-plus minutes of extras, or right at 30 minutes of extras. If you're going to spend the time watching it, making copies, giving it out to people, the best way is to order the DVDs at Infowars.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. You can also write to me. They're $19.95 apiece. You're authorized to make copies for nonprofit educational purposes. P.O. Box 19549, Austin, Texas 78760. Again, P.O. Box 19549, Austin, Texas 78760. It is up to you how viral this film goes, because there's no other single document that puts it all in perspective and explains what's happening 100% and shows you where we're going and how we can stop it. It is so important. If the Republic isn't going to completely fall, it's going to get bad, but if the people know who to blame and know the solutions, then we can pull out of it, as Ron Paul has said. If we don't, ladies and gentlemen, it is hellish what these globalists do to third world and other first world countries they've taken over. So follow the Republic. You can also, $5.95 a month, see the live TV show, all my other films, this film in high quality. There's a DivX version you can download and put on CDs and give to people that looks very, very crisp, not as good as DVD, but close. Again, prisonplanet.tv. I want to thank all those members as well. They make everything possible. I'm also going to tell you how to subscribe to Gerald Celente's Trends Forecaster. He's not a sponsor. I believe in it. I think you should subscribe to it. We'll tell you about that in just a moment, so get a pen and paper ready. Back to Gerald Celente. Gerald, plug your Trends newsletter because it's thick, it's a magazine, it's documented, people need it.
Well, our website is trendsresearch.com. That's trendsresearch.com. And I also want to make it clear that we know that people are in tough economic straits, many people. So we offer discounts for people that are in tough financial shape, disabilities, whatever. And we want the information out there for everyone, just as we promote and encourage everyone to get your new DVD, The Fall of the Republic. I have to tell you, Alex, that I've distributed the Obama Deception to a number of friends who I consider really enlightened and on the cutting edge. And they learned so much that they didn't know when they saw the Obama deception. And that the only way that we're going to have the change that we need in a positive way is for people to know what's going on, to get the fall of the Republic, and to learn more, and to give it to people that are on the fence. And with the Trends Journal, what we do, as you well know, is that we not only forecast the trends, we provide trend posts into the future so you can take proactive measures. And what we're saying now is that this is not a recovery, it's a cover-up. It's as clear as that. You know, why are these banks, for example, coming in with all these high profits? Well, it's very, very simple. It has more to do with gifts from the taxpayers than increased economic activity or skills. What they're doing, Alex, is these banks are reaping outsized earnings through risk-free, low-interest loans from central banks, which they in turn lend back to governments at higher rates. It's as simple as that. They're picking our pockets. Oh, and why are these other corporations showing such wonderful earnings? Oh, it's simple. They're cutting production, they're laying off people, and they're selling off assets. So this is only a temporary recovery. And what we're urging people to do now is to take survival measures. The kind of products that are offered on your website, the solar generators, the foods, and really start supporting your community. People ask me what I do. I don't buy anything I don't have to corporate. You won't find me dead in a Dunkin' Donuts. I'll go to the local coffee shop. I buy local produce. I buy local everything I can. And we don't give investment advice, but I'm still buying gold, and we're forecasting gold 2000. And also, as your crew well knows from coming up to the Trends Research Institute, I'm a firm believer in a renaissance. And a renaissance to me is how can we make America great again? And a renaissance to everyone, of course, is a rebirth. So when was America at its greatest? When were we the most egalitarian nation on earth? Well, it's very simple. The facts show it. It's when we had Main Street, not Wall Street, not the too big to fails. When we had mom and pops, not Walmarts. People supported the community. When we had family farms, not this garbage, deadly food that they're producing out of these factory farms, this hormone-laced, genetically modified junk. When we go back to the measure of Main Street, mom and pop, and family farms, we were the most egalitarian nation. Now the gap between the rich and the poor is the widest in the United States of any of the industrialized nations. I mention this because also with the Renaissance, and you go back to when the Renaissance happened, it happened after the Black Plague. People got hip to the fact that they didn't know what they were doing and they needed a better way. So they went back to the past when civilization was at higher levels. They said in Italy at the height of the Renaissance, alle Romana e alla Antica, in the manner of the Romans and the ancients. The Renaissance in America is to go back to when this country was great. and that means supporting your community, supporting your neighbor. This is a time for people to come together in their community, buy local, and so this Christmas, I'm urging everyone, don't buy one thing made in China. Buy a handcrafted. Give your children something rather than a crappy plastic toy. Give them something that's going to experience and increase their artistic endeavor. So
and if people would just start making these decisions, a good microcosm is 10 years ago you couldn't find organic food anywhere. People demanded it, and so now you can buy it everywhere and the price is going down.